One of the major concerns I have as an older man is to see males and females get along, for relationships to flourish. To be honest, I think that's the only way a society can survive. And you might ask yourself, well, why does that concern you? I have kids. I have 2 girls. I want to see them survive in a world that is beneficial for them. But I know in order for it to be beneficial for them, relationships have to be brought back in order. And with that said, the subject I want to discuss today is the passport bros. Yeah, I've brought this up a few times before, but I have to keep bringing it up simply because I get a lot of my viewers keep sending me information on passport bros, because it is a movement that is growing faster and faster, bigger and bigger. And it's creating a serious problem in the West. Now, guys, before we go into it, come on, hit that old subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification button. You know the drill. Give me a thumbs up, give me a like on this video so that the algorithm will know that you're getting some knowledge. Okay? And of course, if you want to talk to me directly, hit up my website, askanolderman.com, if you want to have a conversation. Now, if you just have a quick question, check me out on Instagram, send me a voice message, and I will return in kind with a response with a voice message. I like voice messages. I'm a bit old school. I want to hear your voice. I'm not into the whole, typing crap. I'm not into that shit. So, voice messages. All right. So, now that that's over, let's get into the meat and gravy of what today's subject is about. Let's listen. Let me introduce you to this one video first, right here.
So, what are your thoughts on passport bros?
I think men here have really high expectations of what women should be like, or actually they're very old-fashioned, if you ask me. They want women to do everything while they work, and I think going abroad, they go for women who are more vulnerable, less exposure, they don't know what's available to them, so they just settle for someone like that because they think they're going to do everything for them, whereas women here, we work, we raise children, we do everything, we're very domesticated.
If they are living the same life as the girl that they're going for, just as long as there's no double standards, it should be fine.
And my mother works and teaches me that, to be financially independent is important. Here, we're always about equality. Like, women should be having the equal rights as men.
They're always about equality. This is crap. Oh, God. Listening to Western women try to justify some crap, it literally gives me a headache. Because everything she mentioned there, oh, we're domesticated. No, you're not. That is the exact reason why men are going overseas, because you're not domesticated. You don't want to work in the house. You want to be a boss bee. When I listen to women with this crap, when they're asked these questions on the street, it blows my mind. I'm gonna play you another one here.
Cook?
Yes, I can cook, I can clean.
Yeah, see, this is why I came to Thailand, to find a traditional woman. See, in the United States, all they do
oh my God.
is complain.
A lot of the passport bros will be like, women only want you for your money. And then they go get their 90-day fiance on, and she's clearly just with you for your money.
Where if I'm working all day, sorry, I maybe don't want to come home and cook for 2 hours to feed you when you get home.
Even when I'm not working all day, I don't want to be home cooking for 2 hours.
It's men that talk like this, that act like this, who hate black women. To be fair, he's also just comparing American women.
Well, he didn't go to Africa. He went to Thailand.
But he said American.
He could have gone to Jamaica too.
It's not like he went to a European country.
Yeah, but you're not ending up in Thailand. You're choosing Thailand.
It's not even about the woman. It's just cheaper in Thailand. You can't get no in America because the eggs is $10.
Unfortunately, we have to attach that to race.
But
to be fair, though, he was ugly.
But, sir, you are not fine. No, he's not.
Wow. There's one thing that is extremely apparent about this whole passport bros movement. It's now triggering a lot of women, because there's nothing worse than a woman being rejected. When you tell a woman, I don't want you, for whatever reason it is, whether it's good or bad, you're no longer an option for me, that does something to a woman's brain. Women do not like that. Even if she don't want you, she must have the first and only right of refusal to you. Women hate rejection. It is not in their nature to be rejected.
Oh, it's deep.
And there you have it. Passport bros. This is why
this guy sums it up nicely.
Passport bros so much. They hate them because they are a judgment on the American modern Western woman, right? It's guys saying, I'm not going to marry these women. I don't want these women. I don't even want to deal with them. I don't want them so much that I'm willing to leave the country to avoid them. That's what the passport bros are. And women hate it. So they will not have an honest conversation with anybody within that movement. They won't have an honest conversation about that movement. Those guys are saying unequivocally that they don't like the mindset and that they of Western women, and that they feel Western women, the principles, morals, the values of these women are not moral. That's what they've come up with. And so guys are leaving the country to avoid dealing with.
But instead of women saying, hey, something's wrong, let me address it, let me see what I can change about myself, she's going to stand strong because feminism have told her that she's right. She shouldn't change, even though she's the one that has to be picked. She don't have a choice of picking a man. Try to understand that. The man first have to ask her to be his before she gets the right to refuse him. If she don't get to stage one, she has no right of refusal, you see. There's nothing that gives a woman more joy than to being able to say to a man, no, I don't want you, after he's made the move. You see it all the time. It has become almost a game now, where women just refusing men and putting him down. It's embarrassing, really. It breaks a lot of men. But the strong men are saying, why am I putting up with this? Most women not even worth it.
If I was a passport bro, I would take that mess to the grave. I would never post it publicly on social media. Guys, it's not coming out the way that you are trying to make it come out. It sounds really bad and embarrassing. Look, when you say that...
Mr. Kevin Samuels always had this acronym: shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. Shame, insult, guilt, and the need to be right. He defined it as sign language, SIGN. I mean, he summed it up so perfectly. You got to understand a female's defensive mechanism. Her major weapon is an assault on your emotion.
Let me teach you guys something. When somebody cannot control you, they want to control how other people see you. Okay? So the primary tools of folks who move like this, and this is feminine energy, right? This is how women commit violence against people. How men commit violence is with their fist, right? But women commit violence with reputation assassination. Women commit violence with innuendo. Women commit violence by, character assassination, right? So what they're doing is they have a straw man argument they've made. These guys are all sex tourists. They're all sex traffickers. They're looking to economically oppress other women. They're looking to try to use their money to victimize women. They're all of this craziness. That's what they're saying about these guys, because they refuse to deal with the fact that what these men are saying, and they're saying it very clear, right? They're not making any channels about sex tourism or anything like that. They're not making content trying to advocate that. These men are saying, hey, if you don't want to deal with Western modern women, then you have to leave the West. That's what they're saying. And the women refuse to deal with that, the premise of their entire movement. They instead are straw manning that premise and arguing against their straw man. And it is that you're too weak, your penis is too small, you don't make enough money, whatever it is. That's what they're saying the reason is for why these men are passport bros, why they want to leave the country. And it all boils down to ego. They absolutely hate rejection, even by men they don't.
Y'all, when women get rejected?
Hi, good morning. So I woke up with all these videos of women attacking the passport bros. Oh wait, let me just take a sip of the coffee that my passport boyfriend made me. It's good.
Damn! Women who are upset with the passport bros. So there's two ways you can handle life, right? You can either be bitter and angry at the people who have the things that you want, or you can learn from them and learn how you can obtain it for yourself. Personally, I prefer to go for option 2, because option 1 just leaves you bitter and filled with resentment, but your situation doesn't change. Whereas at least with option 2, you have a chance of actually changing your situation. If you don't like your outcomes, change your behavior. You can shame these men as much as you want. You can put down these women and put down their home countries as much as you want. You're still going to be single. It's not going to make you any more desirable to these men. A smart woman would learn a thing or two from these women. A less smart woman would choose to call them uneducated, desperate for opportunities, poverty-stricken. But regardless of all of these things that you think they are, they're still able to get the men that don't want you. So
men are hunters. We hunt. We go, we hunt, we conquer, and we bring back home. That's what we do. We bring home the prize. And women know this. So I don't understand when women change their behavior from the way it was. I like to give analogies just to make things clear, but I'm hoping you guys are mature enough to realize I'm not calling you animals that should be hunted. I'm giving you an analogy. So if any of you come in the freaking comments with this bullshit about, oh, you're comparing women to animals, no, I'm not. I'm giving you an analogy of how men hunt, how we think. If I went hunting, and I always hunt for the best meat possible, but we want a very specific type of meat. If that meat has become poisonous, we're going to where we can get good meat. So we go to Colombia, we go to Thailand, we go to Philippines, we go to all of these other countries where the meat is what we want. Because the poisonous meat that is sitting in the West don't want to start eating the good stuff that makes them desirable by the men who hunt them. That meat will just die alone. It'll just die off, rot away, so to speak. And I don't want to get any deeper into this analogy because it could get morbid as hell. But you get my point. If we can't find what we want in one area, we're going to hunt somewhere else to get what we want. The hunter don't eat the bad meat just because he wants meat. That's not how hunting works. Let me just break it down even simpler. Men chase women. That's a form of hunting. We chase you. We come to you. You don't approach us. We run after you. It's a form of hunting. It's just our biology. I hope I made that clear. Let's listen to this other lady who lays it out quite well.
So the passport bros is gaining more and more popularity, and honestly the ladies are not happy about it. And one of the reasons I think it's getting so much pushback from women is because what this is going to mean is that ladies are not going to just have more competition. They're going to have more competition when it comes to dating and mating. There's going to be more options available for men, and I think for many ladies that just makes them feel a little bit uneasy, if I'm just being honest. First of all, the idea of dating and mating being competitive in general is not anything that we grew up hearing. A lot of women grew up hearing they're the prize, they just have to be, and the man will just magically show up, that, you know, just their presence isn't up. Like we heard these things. And so the idea of competing, or the idea of, you know, making yourself available, or different, you know, things that you would do to make yourself desirable to another partner is very foreign, especially for Black women. And so now fast forward and you have this whole group of men that are saying, hey, you aren't willing to work with us. Fine, we're going to go abroad and find women who are. It's like a mixture of shock and disdain and disgust. And how dare you do this? Like, you're going to make us have to compete? How dare you? So the thing is, I don't think it's going anywhere. I legitimately do not think that this movement is going anywhere. If anything, I think it's going to grow. And this is just the way of the economy of the world. So many things are globalized. Jobs being one of them, different career opportunities, and of course, relationships is going to be one of them. So I just think it's making a lot of women uneasy. And the good news is, if you are a good woman, whether you in the USA or you are in, Europe, or you are in Asia, Africa, whatever, if you're a good woman, there's going to be no shortage of men who really want to, be with you, especially in a society now where it's like there's a lot of women who just don't even want to have families. If you're a woman who doesn't want to have a family and does have the character and the qualities to do so, like, you're not going to have any problems. But the reality is, what worked 50, 60, maybe even 10 years ago when it came to finding somebody, it's not going to work today. Things are just strictly different.
Now, if you guys watch my video that I posted early on in the week on the decline of Western civilization on a whole, you will see the ultimate outcome. And it's already happening. What's going to happen here? Let's have a listen.
What do you suggest the women in the West do if everyone's advice is for men in the West to look elsewhere for a wife? What happens to all the women in the West then?
Well, that one study we referenced that said by 2030 or something, 50% of the women will be without a man. So that's the direction we're heading, because the men that are looking for those traditional values are starting to go overseas, and then the other half of the men are just checking out completely. They don't want to deal with women at all. So this is going to be a big issue that women are going to deal with in the future as their options dwindle.
This isn't something I'm just making up, guys. This is getting serious.
Asian women are the most biggest gold diggers you'll ever meet. Asian women are. These passport bros, they believe these women are so kind and submissive to me. Oh, honey, we love you a long time. Yeah, because they want your money. The ones that are quiet are the ones that are the worst. These Asian women are the worst gold diggers in the whole wide world. And as for Brazil, I don't know, but all I know is that there's a lot of Brazilian women willing to do anything to leave Brazil.
In order to be a gold digger in these days, you have to have high standards.
Why not teach women how to act and get that money? And move on to the next. If you keep the receipt, take all the clothes back and get you some cash. If you use a credit card, exchange them and go back and get the cash.
If you don't like ugly guys, you don't like money.
So many people keep asking me, how do I get money? How do I get money?
Online.
If you're dating a guy and they're rich, it's not a bad thing to ask for money. Okay. A way to a man's heart is through his wallet and his bank account.
You're my girlfriend, so you're supposed to do this and that. No, I'm not. Because that costs. Exclusivity costs money.
Girl, you might be surprised. Some of them old men be having real money.
Like, I'm going out on my boat. Hear a little bit more of our advice. I need some company.
If you don't like ugly guys, you don't like money.
So many people keep asking me.
We out. And you ladies don't realize this. All you're doing is training other women to be low-level hoes. That's it. Telling women how to trade their body for money. That's it. That's exactly what prostitution is. When it's a direct exchange. Here's this very deep understanding about relationships. Relationships and marriage are two totally different things. Okay? We're just talking about relationships now. If you meet a person and you want to start a relationship, in the West, the first thing the woman is going to consider is how much money you're going to spend on her. In other words, it's transactional. We see it every day. Every single woman who get caught in these traps where the guy is walking on the side of the road. I love this guy here. I think he's London, where he basically highlight these gold diggers. We have these fancy names for prostitution these days. A gold digger is no different than a prostitute. A woman who is only prepared to give you her body if you have enough money. That's a prostitute. Sorry. I'm calling it like it is.
You're so gorgeous.
I really don't want to talk right now.
You said you don't want to talk?
I'm just like busy.
Okay, anybody told you it was beautiful today?
I'm sorry. I'm just really interested.
It's all good. Have a good one. What's she coming back over here for? What's up?
I'm sorry.
You said you're not interested, right?
Well, I'm interested now.
Yeah, but why all of a sudden now though?
I just wanted to talk to you.
About what?
Anything.
Do a little 360. Slim thick. Heard you. But I'm about to get going though.
Can we just like have another conversation and like talk for a little bit? I just want you to hear me out.
Hey, look, I got a couple minutes of my time. If you get in and waste it, you getting out. So what's up though?
I just wanted to talk to you. Like maybe we can go hang out together. Yeah.
What type of stuff you into?
Maybe we could go like together, like shopping.
I mean, why would we do that?
Because it's fun.
Yeah, you go shopping. I shop online.
I bet you can come with me.
Why would I want to do that? Get out the car real quick and come over here on this side. How would it feel out there?
Why you didn't get out the car?
Because that's where you're going to stand at for the rest of the time when you talk to me.
What do you mean?
I mean, you just got in my car talking about shopping for what?
Because that's what I like to do.
Well, guess what? That don't got nothing to do with me. What makes you think I'm about to do that? Do you know me?
That's what you're supposed to do.
What you mean, supposed to? You're not my girl. You're not nothing. So why the f would I pay for you?
Why did you stop me?
I stopped you because I felt like you was attractive and that you looked good. That don't mean I'm about to pay for you though. Honestly, you can just get away from my car because it seemed to me like you a gold digger.
I just really wanted to talk to you.
Have a good day.
Whatever.
Have a good day. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. That's how we gotta start treating them. If you acting like a gold digger, you gonna sit out there.
We like to use the gold diggers that, no, you're a prostitute. I'm sorry. Define prostitution. Listen to your voice as you define prostitution in your brain and then relate it back to a woman who refused to do anything with you until she realizes that you have enough money. Thank you. Now, ask yourself now, if this is just a relationship phase, we haven't even gotten to the marriage phase, right? Because the marriage is simply a contract. The difference between a relationship and a marriage is simply a contract, a governmental contract. So that means if the woman can't even get across the monetary part first, where she gets to know you and see if she can be a helpmate or build with you, she just want to see how much she can suck from you right off the bat. That is where Western women are right now. And listen, I understand as a man that there is some necessity for this, because women have to understand that if they're going to give their body to a man and there's a possibility of her getting pregnant and she wants to take this into a long-term prospect, that the man should be able to provide. Fine. We men know that. We men know that in order for us to be able to capture a woman, that we have to get our money up. Because no woman wants a broke man. Doesn't matter where she is in the world. Why do you think these women in the Philippines and all of these countries are looking outside? Because they know that those men, those American men, even though they're average in their country, they are millionaires in their country. So don't think that these passport bros don't understand that they're the women in the Philippines and Colombia and wherever these lower income places are situated. Don't think that these men don't understand that these women also want them for their money. The issue is that these women do not place a premium on their product. Just hear me out again. I'm going to give you another analogy. There is a car sitting at the car dealership, and this car has a price tag on it. This car has no scratches. It's brand new. It has no mileage, and it's just spanking brand new. And it costs what the average man makes just per year, $35,000 to $45,000. Just so that we understand where I'm going with this, that's the average man's salary in the West, in America. There's another car right next to it. Same brand. It's full of scratches. 100,000 miles run up on it. Everywhere you look, it's patched in. The eyelashes or the headlights have these creepy looking adornments on it. Okay, the back end, it has this huge, look like pillows coming out the back, right? There's some plastic looking things hanging off the front of the hood. It has this thing on top of it that you can pull it off if it gets loose, you know, and plus it has this crazy paint job on it that like it can just literally melt off. That's the car you're dealing with. But the problem is that car, that's over 6 figures. That car is over 6 figures. This one, you got to constantly crank it to go. It doesn't want to cooperate with you at any time. Some days you don't know if it's going to work. Some days it works. This car, it don't even have proper locks on it. Anybody could jump in it and ride it whenever they want. This car over here has great locking system. Which one do you think I'm going to buy if I walked onto a car lot and saw these two cars? $35,000, pristine condition, great paint job, natural, beautiful, original paint job. And this one over here with all the damage and problems that I just described to you. Which one you think the man is going to take? So what if I got to go a little further to get this one here? I'm going to go and get it. There's your analogy. That's what you're dealing with when it comes to passport bros. Let's listen to the psychiatrist who talking about the passport bros, because she said something interesting.
Saying this a lot recently, that when we go to cultures where the women don't even show their ankles, it's because the men in that culture won't have it. They won't have it. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that when we look at social differences, there's cultures out there where there's women who wouldn't even think to show their ankles. And there's this culture where a 12-year-old is twerking online. When we look at cultures where the women have changed so much in terms of their promiscuity, you have to look at what men are rewarding. What are the men going towards? Now, if I go to a culture where the women are well behaved, it's because the men they don't like promiscuity. They don't reward it. But if you go to a culture like America, the UK, Dubai, they reward promiscuity. Every girl that has her arse out is going to have a million offers, taking her hair, this, that, whereas they don't reward good women in these cultures. Whereas if you go to other cultures where the women are submissive and people are always saying, oh, I want to go to a submissive culture, find a girl from back home, it's because the men don't tolerate that nonsense. So if you want to look at why women are getting so bad, have a look at the men in that society, because they set the tone.
There is some truth to what she's saying, but I think she missed a major part. The men in certain societies don't have any control because feminism have stepped in and we've now created a gynocentric society where everything is about pleasing the woman, ignoring the man. She ignored this point because it's obvious the men are telling you we don't want the promiscuous behavior. That's why we're going overseas to find women who are not promiscuous. The men are trying to tell you something, but the society has already gone too far down the feminist route where all women are right. Women have the same rights as men. Women can be men if they want. Men can be women. The society has literally destroyed itself. It isn't men that did that. It's feminism that did that. So the reason why I say she's right in certain respect is because men are still biologically wired to find and get sex as much as he wants. So when he sees the behavior, this liberal behavior that has been instilled by feminism, men are saying, hey, you want to act like me? You want to go out and fuck as many men as you want? Hey, if you're up for that, I'm up for it. I'll go for that because his biological needs are being met. Will he marry it? No, he won't. Are there simps out there that will marry her? Yes. Will he get destroyed in a divorce? Yes. But now, the good men, not the pookies and the ray-rays, the average man is now waking up and saying, listen, I want a woman who wants to be on my program, who's not going to leave my ass after 5 years because she's now bored with the same D, or I'm not making enough money and she's only listening to her friends, etc. I want a woman who's going to be with me for the long run. I'm not going to get that here in the West because it's obvious. So that's why he's leaving. That's why the passport bro is leaving. Ladies, you have to understand the mentality of men. Men are very simple creatures. 1 + 1 is 2. If I'm not getting what I want here, I'm going to go over here and get it. Being average in America allows me to get on a plane and set up shop in a country where the currency is worth a lot less than America. I can now attract a woman who sees me as much higher value than the men in her country who are earning less than me, who's earning probably 1/5 of what I'm earning with my average salary in America. The men in that country can't compete with me. I can get with beautiful women who want to get on my program. And you know the trick is, you never take them back to the West. America isn't that desirable, my friends. You women don't realize America is not desirable. Yeah, you make more money, but you're more in debt. Racism, you have a massive amount of problems that are not kind to foreign women or men. It's too hard. Why would a woman leave her family, her support system, her friends, just to follow a man across to America? For what? How does that make sense? Those days are gone.
How bad did you want to come to the States? Okay, she doesn't record a lot on camera, so she continuously giggles, which is why we've tried this 5 times now. For her, I'll start off for her and then she can jump in. She didn't necessarily care about living in the United States forever. She always said that she would if it would make me happy as long as we could visit her family a lot, but she didn't actually want to live there permanently. That was not a goal or something she wanted to. I know a lot of people think Filipinos want to go to the U.S. and live there forever.
No.
I've never met one that actually wants to go there and stay there.
I've never met one either.
She wanted to go there on vacation to visit. What were you going to say?
Yeah, for me, it's like I went there because of you. Because I want to be with you. And of course, it's America, so I want to experience the country like I can only see in movies. So a bit curious, but for good, no, because I'm happy here. I'm happy with my family. I have my friends, like, who understand me, and I can, like, express myself. Unlike in US, like, I don't have a neighbor that is a Filipino, so it's hard to talk and express and get friends. It's really different with the same Filipinos. Like, we're just so crazy, happy, laughing all the time.
There is much too much information online right now for anyone around the world to understand that America isn't the land of opportunity and peace and harmony. No, it's not. You don't have that great of a reputation. And I'm not bashing on America. I'm just stating facts, man. If a woman can stay in her country, get a man who's willing to come in and marry her in her own country, get a house in her own country, shows her family that she's doing it in her own country, right? Having her kids in her own culture. Why the hell would she go to another man's country for what? Just to say, I'm an American? She's already won. Why would a passport bro take her back home? You keep that woman in her country and you either commute back and forth. Gentlemen, you know the rules. I don't have to teach passport bros this. Every man knows. You buy a little house in that country, something that you don't even need a big mortgage for. You pay it off in 4 to 5 years versus 15 to 20 years in America. You can probably even buy it cash. You can take care of 2 or 3 kids in that country for a fraction of the cost on education. Food is cheaper. Everything is cheaper. So why wouldn't you do that? Why would you bring that woman back to the States or back to Canada or back to Australia? Even if you have to commute, like I said this a few times already, I have friends here who commute back and forth to the Philippines with their family because they make more money here in Dubai. Every 2 months, goes back home, spends a week and a half with his kids, and he leaves and he comes back here to Dubai. Talks to them on Zoom every night. Any problems come up, Zoom call or social media, they stay in touch. Wife takes care of the family back there. And he's doing that until he pays off maybe for the car or for the mortgage back home. And then when that's done, he takes himself back and enjoy his family. Sometimes they come here to Dubai, sometimes he goes there. The world is small, my friends. A plane ride is literally a couple hours. 3 to 4 hours, 5 to 6 hours, it doesn't matter. You can literally jump on a plane anytime and be in another country. It isn't rocket science. You don't believe me? Let's listen to see how much it costs to live in the Philippines.
How much money do you need to earn to be considered rich here in the Philippines?
150,000 income every month. You would be able to maintain a car and have a nice home. To be able to have this rich lifestyle.
Imagine yourself in a place like this, getting paid remotely $3,000-$4,000 a month, and you look good, take care of yourself. You don't think you would crush it?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Why wouldn't you go as a passport bro to one of these countries, marry one of those women, stay in that country? Because you're married to her now, so you get to stay in that country. It's not rocket science, guys. And this is why it doesn't work the other way around.
Correctly.
Yeah.
Do you want a divorce?
I do want a divorce.
So you want to be done?
Yeah. I don't care if she send me back to my country. I just want a peace of mind. I just want a peace of mind. She's not giving me the peace of mind. I'm doing everything for her. You know, I'm not getting that appreciation. You know, when somebody do something for you, you give appreciation. That person will want to do more.
So you're hearing this directly. He's saying he wants a divorce.
Green card bro wants out.
Processing it? Are you receiving that?
I'm processing.
Yeah.
So, that is it. I told her what I want. I want a divorce in the marriage. Because I can't live my life like this. Yeah, that is it.
That's the difference.
Honestly, the amount of white dudes with Thai women that are waiting to board international flights, it's an absurdity. It is crazy. Like, half of the couples in this airport right now are beautiful Thai women with super basic white dudes.
Yep. Passport bros come in different colors. The reality of it is that this movement started quite a while back, where average men who couldn't get eligible women here in the West, they would go and order women from Eastern Europe. And of course, there was no internet back then, so these men would get magazines and letters writing back and forth to women in Russia and Ukraine and all of these different Bulgaria and all of these Eastern European countries. Problem is that those women were brought back to America, and that was their biggest mistake. So passport bros, they learn from the mail order bride movement. You do not bring your woman back to the West. Big mistake.
If you watched my last video, I was speaking to the amount of black men that are currently in Cartagena. So just to be clear, what made this very interesting to me, and this is not my first time in Cartagena, however, my first time in Cartagena was during the pandemic, and so it just wasn't nearly as busy. So this was my first time experiencing Colombia, I think in a more realistic form of just what, you know, the average flight consists of. And it was a extremely large amount of black men on flights all the time. And I can honestly say that it is very rare for me to see a large number of black men on a flight that I'm on. It is very, 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 very rare. So to arrive and have a flight full of men, but also to see other flights full of men, and the customs line was crazy long. So when I say that there were black men everywhere, I literally mean there were black men everywhere. But what was the most jarring to me is the realization that I think there's a lot of discourse on the internet, and there's a lot of people that are like, oh, it's just dusties, it's just broke men, it's just men that other women wouldn't date. I saw lots of very attractive men. I saw lots of men who looked like they had means. They looked like they had their stuff together. They were dressed well. They had good luggage. Like, these were not men that you're just like, oh, girl, nobody wants them. And so for me, the video really just came from the actual shock of, oh, y'all really be outside with it. Y'all are really...
I featured this lady on my last video, so I don't want to play the whole video on her, but this is just a fact.
We have the famous Renata here. How are you doing today, Renata?
I'm good. Hey, guys. I'm here with my friend.
We got Elaine here. We got my man Gary right here.
Guys, just
What's up, Gary? How's it going, man?
What's up, man? Enjoying yourself?
Oh, I'm enjoying myself. We got some more beautiful ladies right here. Hello, how are you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Well, we have another one right here. What's your friend's name? What's your friend's name? What's your friend? How are you?
Yeah, hey, sounds good.
Ben, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
Hey, what's up? Tasha, what's up, big dog? Yo, Tasha, what's up, man? What's up, big dog? Oh, yeah, let's get a picture.
Wow.
To these untraditional passport bros is, what exactly is your goal when you're bringing these women back? You want them to sit home, cook, clean, take care of the kids, and then turn around and work a job to help pay for the bills because you can't provide? So what exactly now makes you traditional? Because clearly she's doing the traditional thing on top of looking good for you, but she requires one thing of you to just simply provide, and that's asking for too much. So what exactly are you bringing to the table at this point?
So the general concept of a passport bro is somebody who's sick and tired of the Western mentality of all men are evil, terrible, and can't do anything right. The blame mentality, all our faults, while you take zero responsibility for anything that ever goes wrong in a relationship. You know, the pointing fingers, the gaslighting, the blame shifting, that bullshit. So men get their passports and go overseas to countries where family dynamics matter to women, and they are usually more oriented towards teams, you know, places like the Philippines where they're working with their families. It's not uncommon to find a girl putting in a 12-hour day in a rice field somewhere or a family shop because that's their way of life. And so the idea of her helping her family dynamic isn't offensive to her at all. She's actually more than willing to help her family in the most basic of ways. Now, this concept that we want to turn women into slaves is just Western propaganda, which is, again, why a lot of men are leaving. Because when you think about it, we're asking for the bare minimum. We're just asking for you not to be a whore, to listen to our advice and suggestion on basic things like, you know, maybe don't go out to the club all the time. Maybe don't wear that skimpy dress. Maybe work with us and don't sleep around. Maybe when we have problems, we go to God with our problems or work it out together. You don't run to other people like your toxic ass friends that are going to put thoughts in your head and make you leave us kind of shit. Like, the list goes on, but your concept of passport bros is very wrong because, you know, you're a Western woman, and I've got no hate against Western women, not at all, but I understand what passport bros are about. It's about breaking away from this toxic status quo of divorce being something that you just go through at least once in your life because, you know, the woman got bored, she got tired, you were always working, whatever fucking excuse. There are endless excuses, but again, remembering the key underlying factor that it's always the man's fault. Every problem, immediately you. Straight away, right away, your fault. I mean, as a man, we get tired of hearing that. I mean, we men don't want to hear it's always our fault for every issue. So wouldn't it be nice to have a woman that is used to putting in a hard day's work, that comes from a good family where she's close to her family members and doesn't have all these childhood wounds and needs a shit ton of therapy and actually wants to build a life with you? She wants kids. She wants a life. She wants family. She's not sitting here on some crazy toxic bender where all men are shit and it's always all men's fault. Like, that's just something that we experience here in the U.S. to a gross degree because that's what it's always been. It's all about destroying the nuclear family and the idea of what the traditional homes.
All right, guys, listen, I'm going to wrap it up there. I hope you guys get a great understanding of the Passport Bros movement. I don't even think I can call it a movement anymore. This is just a serious reality of life that is occurring. We're seeing a massive shift in the dating market, and it is not to the advantage of women in the West. So, ladies, my advice to you is you have to reevaluate where you're going wrong. Decide whether you want to live alone for the rest of your lives, because you can't do what the Passport Bros are doing. No one is looking for Western women unless they're looking for a green card. That's just a fact. Men aren't going to the West to find women. You can't go to a foreign country to find men, because these men already know that you come with problems. So you need to reevaluate whether what you're doing is something you're prepared to keep doing and keep getting the same results, because that is what you're doing. You can't expect to keep doing what you're doing and getting the same results, but then expecting different outcomes. That's the definition of insanity. You have to change something so that other men will see that, hey, you're somebody I'm willing to work with. But I know in the West, that's hard. I have no other suggestion for you guys. I have no other suggestions. Men are telling you, this is what I want. All right, listen. Subscribe, guys. Thumbs up, please, as you're leaving this video. And of course, if you want to contribute, drop a little super thanks below so that it can help move this channel to the next level. Thank you so much to all of you who have subscribed. I really, really appreciate the support.